Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Poonam Chawla, an assistant professor with Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies in Rohini. Today we are going to discuss the interesting subject of key areas in organizational training. The inclusions of the module are an introduction. We'll discuss about orientation training, diversity training, sexual harassment training, team training, cross-cultural training, and then I'll provide you with the summary of the module. Once you are through with this module, you will be able to understand 5 key areas of training, namely orientation training, diversity training, sexual harassment training, team training, and cross-cultural training. You will be able to appreciate the significance of these areas and you will be able to comprehend the usage of the training model to develop each of these key areas of training. The 5 key areas of organizational training are orientation training, diversity training, sexual harassment training, team training, cross-cultural training. Let's start with orientation training. Orientation is the planned introduction of new employees to their jobs, their co-workers and their organization. How we can use the training model to develop orientation training? First, we need to do a training need analysis which involves organizational, operational and personal analysis. This step is followed by the design, which includes organizational constraints, training objectives, facilitating learning and ensuring transfer of training. After this, there comes development, which ensures transfer of training to the trainees. It is followed by implementation and then evaluation, which includes process measures and content measures. What are the benefits of an effective orientation training? The advantages of an effective orientation training include reduced anxiety, reduced role ambiguity, improved job performance, reduced turnover, higher commitment and more effective organization in all. Let us discuss diversity at work. Diversity at workplace refers to the variety of differences between people in an organization. It includes and encompasses race, gender, ethnic group, age, personality, cognitive style, tenure, organizational function, education, background and more. Diversity not only involves how people perceive themselves, but it also includes how people perceive others. Their perceptions affect their interactions with other groups. There are various challenges of diversity at workplace. They are number 1, communication, resistance to change, implementation of diversity in the workplace policies, and last, successful management of diversity in the workplace. There are advantages associated to an effective diverse workforce. Number 1, better reputation of the organization, lower costs, higher market share and improved problem solving. How we can use the training model to develop diversity training? Number 1, the first step is training need analysis. Determine upper management's level of commitment to diversity. Identify the organizational goals related to diversity. Obtain a good cross-section of attitudes and behaviors that reflect how the employees respond to diversity. And lastly, determine the forces supporting and resisting diversity. This training need analysis is followed by design, which includes constraints and the learning objectives of the training program. Then, development and implementation issues are catered to, followed by the last step, which includes the evaluation issue. Although there are various ways to keep diversity important, I am hereby citing 10 ways to keep diversity as an integral part of the organization. Number 1. Develop and implement diversity refresher training. Second, create a diversity council and publicize the activities. Third, invite managers to the diversity council meetings. Fourth, address all diversity related concerns in a timely manner. Fifth, monitor diversity metrics, praise successes and investigate failures. Sixth, ask managers to report diversity activities on a monthly basis. Seventh, periodically remind supervisors of guidelines related to employment decisions. Eighth, publicize diversity holidays. Ninth, have diversity articles in a company newsletter. And last, set up a diversity booth at company picnics. Let us see how Coca-Cola manages diversity in its organization. They believe that diversity is at the heart of their business. They strive to create a work environment that provides all its associates equal access to information, development and opportunity. By building an inclusive workplace environment, they seek to leverage our global team of associates, which is rich in diverse people, talent and ideas. They see diversity as more than just policies and practices. It is an integral part of who we are as a company and how we operate and how we see our future. There are various diversity initiatives that have been taken by Coca-Cola. The first is Coca-Cola University offers diversity training and education. The managers and executives must attend the diversity and inclusive action plan towards equal diversity in organization. Teams and their significance. There is an increasing emphasis on team performance in organization these days. How do we define a team? A team is a group of individuals who are working together towards a common goal. Implementing the right kind of team concept can make the organizations more effective. Teams made up of shop floor workers often produce innovative ways of reducing waste, improving quality and productivity. The common factors of effective teams are they have a clear sense of direction, members with the talents necessary to achieve the team's purpose, clear and enticing responsibilities, reasonable and efficient operating procedures, constructive interpersonal relationships, active reinforcement systems, constructive external relationships. Using the training model to develop team training, training need analysis, determination of the KSAs and non-training needs, design, development, implementation issues, lectures to convey the necessary knowledge and then participation in exercises that develop those skills. During the team building module, the trainer will be assessing the level of knowledge, skill and aptitude being applied, and at the conclusion, he will work with team to assess its performance. Evaluation process and content evaluation. Principles regarding composition, management of teams. The overall performance of a team strongly depends on the individual expertise of its members. Thus, individual training and development are still important. Interactions among team members must also be addressed as it makes team training unique. It always uses some form of simulation or real life practice and it always focuses on the interaction of team members, equipment, and work procedures. Secondly, managers of effective work groups tend to monitor the performance of their team members regularly, and they provide frequent feedback to them. In fact, as much as 35% of the variability in team performance can be explained by the frequency of use of monitors and consequences. Let us look at the importance of team training. It increases creativity compared to individual thinking. It also increases employee satisfaction and commitment, which furthermore results into reduced absenteeism, improved turnover rate, and performance. Working in team encourages employees to take responsibility for their own actions and decisions. More teams means more decentralization, and thus it leads to a flatter organizational structure. A flat organization can respond more quickly to changes in the environment, so team training is extremely important for an organization. Let us talk about sexual harassment training now. Sexual harassment is an unwelcome advance of a sexual nature and can take two forms, either quid pro quo or hostile environment. Quid pro quo harassment occurs if an employee higher in the organization or a senior employee makes an offer to a subordinate of some job perk in return for sexual favors. When words, gestures, and behavior make someone feel uncomfortable based on their gender, the result is a hostile work environment. Sexual harassment training makes it clear what sexual harassment is and what is not considered to be a sexual harassment case at workplace. How one can deal with sexual harassment. The strategies for dealing with sexual harassment are: number one, the organization must develop a clear policy. It should get top management support for it. It should provide training to everyone. It should evaluate training and test it for the knowledge. It should periodically provide refresher training in this case. It should investigate the complaints quickly. It should keep the information confidential. And lastly, it should give severe punishments to the offenders. Slide 30. What are the inclusions in a sexual harassment policy? Number one, indicate a strong opposition to sexual harassment. Second, define what is sexual harassment using examples so that employees clearly understand what kind of behavior is not permitted in the organization. Provide a proper procedure for reporting a sexual harassment case in a way that it protects the person who is reporting it. It is followed by indicate all reported incidents, quickly investigate them, and discreetly and impartially investigate. Provide levels of discipline that could be meted out to violators up to and including dismissal if the offence is quite serious. State that no retaliation for reporting sexual harassment incidents will be tolerated. Slide number 31. Using the training model to develop sexual harassment training. The first step again is training need analysis. In training need analysis, examine the sexual harassment policy, identify the problems that exist in the firm, and meet small cross-sectional group of employees to understand their needs and demands. Second, design. Identify the constraints, mention the training objectives, and identify the training methods that will be used to give sexual harassment training. This will be followed by development and implementation. In this case, plan for smaller group interactions. This is followed by the evaluation part. Cross-cultural training. Cross-cultural training refers to the formal procedures and programs which are designed to prepare persons of one culture to interact with people from varied backgrounds. Normally, such kind of a training is given to expatriates in multinationals. To survive, cope and succeed, managers need cross-cultural training in 3 areas primarily. Although this is not an exhaustive list, but this is the primary list. The first, they should be aware of the culture of the host country or the culture they are going to mingle with. Second, the language. And third, the practical day-to-day matters. Using the training model to develop cross-cultural training, training need analysis, operational analysis, person analysis, design, constraints, objectives, facilitate learning, development and implementation, cross-cultural awareness, cross-cultural communication skills, and business etiquettes and procedures, followed by evaluation. Let us look at the summary of the complete module. The 5 most prevalent training practices taking place in the organization are orientation training, diversity training, sexual harassment training, team training, and cross-cultural training. Orientation training is training which has the purpose of familiarizing the trainee to the job, the workplace environment, and his colleagues and co-workers. Diversity training emphasizes on understanding the dissimilarity that is found amongst people of different backgrounds. Team training refers to training employees to be comfortable and work better in teams. Sexual harassment training makes it clear what sexual harassment is and what is not at workplace. Cross-cultural training refers to formal programs designed to prepare persons of one culture to interact effectively with people from varied cultural backgrounds. Normally, this type of training is given to expatriates. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the module and learnt many things from it.